Hi, I'm Joshua Phillip, and welcome to this week's episode of Read the News. This week we're going to take a look at the Detroit Public Schools sickouts. We've got Al Roker's spirit animal and top international reporter Sam Itch, who just got bored covering Syrian peace talks, on location at Edison Elementary in Detroit Public Schools, where teachers who can't legally strike have instead coordinated sick days in order to shut down schools in protest of poor conditions that include things like mold and vermin, leaks, and heating issues. Sam, is this all the case at Edison Elementary? Do they indeed have problems as simple as vermin and leaky roofs that aren't being taken care of?
Yes.
Thanks, Sam. So all of these issues are really symptomatic of a deeper problem at the Detroit Public Schools, and that is the massive amount of debt that they have. As Detroit's population shrank and birth rates have slowed and the population have shifted westerly in the state, the Detroit Public School System's enrollment has gone down, and that means they have less and less money because money is distributed to schools on a per student basis. So Detroit shrinks, Detroit Public Schools enrollment shrinks, and they get less money. However, they still have all these pensions and older debts from when they were big, and they still have all these buildings that they've had because they're still actually the biggest school system in the state. So they have all these old debts, but their enrollment is down, which means their income is down, and so the debts are just kind of crushing the school system. Now, they've also been under emergency management by state-appointed emergency managers for nearly 10 years now, and each emergency manager has essentially only succeeded in kind of kicking the can down the road another year and making the debt grow without proposing any lasting solution. We now go to Ki Hyun Dyuk for advice.
Thanks, Josh. Dear Abby here in the advice column says a 30-year-old relative of mine has developed a germphobia. She constantly applies hand sanitizer and avoids anyone who exhibits any kind of symptoms. She refused to visit me when I was in the hospital because she thought she might catch something. She was not always like this. Abby says, I love her dearly and I have no idea what has caused the problem. Is there anything I can do to get her to give up some of the precautions she's taking, or does she need professional help? Worried relative in Tampa, Florida. Some people have fetishes, and that's okay. You know, it's weird. Some people have addictions. Some people have nitpicky habits. Hands are just one of them. I know some people that hands sweat like rags. It's disgusting, but, live with it. Let somebody be whoever they want to be. Oh, guys, I lost the internet.
Thanks, Key. So, with this situation at the Detroit Public School System, in all likelihood, the state, one way or another, is going to have to bail the school system out. Either they're going to go bankrupt somewhere around April, and a lot of their debt is going to fall to the state, or the state is currently working on some legislation to bail the school system out before it goes bankrupt, in which case the state is going to end up paying for a lot of their debt. And a lot of people, grump when they say, well, the taxpayers shouldn't be stuck with this millions of dollars worth of debt just because some school administrators made some mistakes. Maybe that's true, but the problem is there's a generation of kids who for years now have been suffering substandard education and substandard conditions just because some administrators have mismanaged things. And we as a state should jump at the opportunity to be able to help these kids, because we don't really get to write an entire generation off just because some administrators have made mistakes. We need to make sure that every generation gets as good of an education as possible. Let's read the news for this week. Go ahead and leave any comments you have in the comments section, and there will be links to related articles in the doobly-doo. Have all the cheese products that were inside that trailer been recovered?
Yes.
Thanks, Sam. Moving on. Flint, a update with their water situation. Lately there have been a lot of reports online saying